business currently brings in annual revenue of $100,000 and you want to increase that figure to $1 million. How do you do it? What's your game plan? When you know and understand how to create a revenue plan, you can begin to map out a viable, logical action plan that will enable you to reach your desired annual revenue figure. Our previous presentations have outlined the specific process we use to help our clients build a business that's truly unique, provides extraordinary value, and effectively conveys a powerful and compelling message that resonates with their prospects on a deeply emotional level. But like every small business owner on the planet, revenue is the name of the game. No one is ever completely satisfied with their current income level. Every business owner we've spoken with has dreamed of becoming independently wealthy. And even though that should never be the primary reason you start a business, it should always be one of the primary objectives that you expect your business to eventually deliver. So ask yourself this: where are your revenues today? And where would you like them to be? Your answer should be specifically defined and calculated using a primary component of your revenue plan that we call the gap analysis. A gap analysis defines your present and future objectives in both financial and non-financial terms. Once you define the gap that exists in all areas relevant to your business, you can then create a revenue plan that will map out the exact process required so you can eliminate that gap. Reach every one of your goals and objectives and do so within a very specific time frame. In this presentation, we're going to help you create a gap analysis and revenue plan for your business. We want you to fully understand the relationship between the gap analysis and the revenue plan, how the components in each of them will help you take your business to an entirely new level of performance and wealth, and how to adjust each of them when economic conditions change as they so often do today. So let's get started and learn the process required to create an accurate revenue plan. A revenue plan is a tool you use to document your sources of income over a specific period of time. It identifies how and from where your business will generate its income. It's the projection of income you want to achieve and the components that make it possible for you to do that. Your revenue plan actually begins the process of generating leads for your business by defining specifically the product and or service your business will sell, the number you want to sell, the price you will charge, and when you project these sales will take place. Once these objectives are clearly and specifically defined, you will have an excellent idea of the number of leads your business needs to generate in order to accomplish every one of those objectives. It specifically defines where your business is at today, where you want it to eventually wind up, and then maps out the specific way for you to get it there. As I mentioned earlier, your completed revenue plan literally becomes your roadmap to wealth. Every business owner should create a revenue plan the moment they decide to open their own business. It actually reveals right up front if the business you're considering is viable to begin with. Fortunately, the revenue plan is simple to develop. You start by listing all the products and or services you provide, and then multiply them by the price you charge. Then you multiply that by the number you expect to sell either daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually, depending on how you prefer to set up your revenue plan. This provides you with a very simple plan that you can follow and track how your business generates revenue. I'm often asked about listing the expenses of the business in the revenue plan. Never do that. That isn't the purpose of it. A revenue plan tracks just that, revenue. You want to list your revenue and expenses, including both general and administrative expenses, in a profit and loss statement. The revenue plan only maps out your sources for generating revenue and keeps you focused squarely on generating the income so badly needed by the majority of small business owners today. A revenue plan is what I might call a subset of your overall business plan and is critical if you really want to accelerate the growth of your business. Creating your revenue plan allows you to focus on the right things at the right time and to measure your progress toward your goals over a specified period of time. That time frame may be daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually, although I personally prefer monthly. When I set it up as the monthly tracking system, I find I don't panic if I get a little bump here or there, as often happens in business. Some days are terrible for generating revenue, and then you have those days that are truly amazing. Many times, you don't have a clue as to why these bumps even occur. It may be weather or possibly an event is in town you weren't aware of. By checking my revenue plan every month, that gives me a great snapshot of the revenue my business generated over the past 30 days. But it's still frequent enough that I have plenty of time to make any necessary adjustments if I find my revenue is below my target goal for that month. I then know I need to compensate the following month and make up for that shortfall, and I can then begin to properly plan the best way to do that. Let me briefly explain why the revenue plan can help your business accomplish so much more than it is right now. The fundamental function of any business is to generate revenue through both marketing and sales. Sales happen by generating qualified leads, which is a function of your marketing. Obviously, there are a number of tools you can use to do that, but how do you know which tools to use if you don't have a plan that spells out where your revenue is coming from? And how do you know if your marketing and lead generating activities are producing the revenue you expect if you don't have a written plan with specific goals to compare your results with? That's why the first thing you should always begin with is a gap analysis. A gap analysis is a simple measurement of where you are compared to where you want to be. And as I said earlier, the gap analysis can measure both financial and non-financial objectives. To determine your financial gap, simply measure your current income or revenue and then compare it with where you want to be. For example, let's suppose it's the month of January and you own a daycare center. Your current annual revenue is $100,000 and you want to increase it to $220,000 by the end of the year. So you have 11 months to reach that objective. Your gap in this example is $120,000. With that gap specifically defined, you can now begin developing a revenue plan to deliver the additional $120,000 within your desired time frame. Once the revenue plan is in place, you will know exactly how many leads you need in order to generate the sales it will take to achieve your objective. This process permits you to consistently track your progress and do so daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually, and compare your current results with your projected results to make sure you stay on target. If you ever find yourself veering off target, you can quickly adjust the strategies and tactics in your revenue plan and get your business back on course. In 1 month, your revenue plan says you're falling short of your desired revenue goals. You can change your sales process and map out additional lead generation strategies that will generate the sales you need to overcome your shortfall, and then schedule the implementation of those new strategies in your marketing schedule to hold yourself accountable. By the way, if you're wondering what a sales process map and a marketing schedule are, they are critical fundamentals that will help you develop in later modules. Just remember that this entire process starts by creating your gap analysis. Once you specifically define your gap, then you develop your revenue plan and establish the specific numbers you need to close that gap. In your workbook, you'll find a gap analysis form. We've created this form so you can define your financial, non-financial, and even your personal goals and objectives. This is the first step in creating your revenue plan. Remember that as a business owner, your revenue plan should completely encompass all of your products or services. When you create your gap analysis, you will set a goal regarding the number of products you want to sell or the number of services you want to deliver over a specific time frame. Your revenue plan will list that volume in a monthly column multiplied by the price you charge. I previously recommend that you use a monthly time frame. That way you'll know every 30 days if your business is on track to reach your target goal. If it isn't, you can make quick adjustments before your revenue shortfall becomes impossible to make up by your deadline. Your revenue plan will encompass all income from your products and services. It will also include any miscellaneous income that may be applicable to your business, such as online sales generated through your website, special events and sales for referrals or affiliates. Whatever products or services you sell, the sales volume should be forecast for each and every one you list, and then multiplied by your price. Non-financial goals are established in much the same way. You can set various criteria as a way to measure your progress or success as you operate your business. For example, you may set a non-financial goal of increasing the number of clients you sell by 2 every month over 11 months. Even though this is a non-financial goal, the income you would receive could also be used as a financial goal. The point is to make sure you understand that financial and non-financial goals are often intertwined. Frequently, one is dependent on the other. And here's something to consider. You can work your revenue plan either forward or backward. Working forward means you set your non-financial objectives first, such as increasing the number of clients you sell to by 25%, and then determining the income you'll achieve from that increase. When you work backward, you set your financial objectives first, and then use your revenue plan to work out the various combinations of numbers required to accomplish your revenue goals. There is no right or wrong way to do this. It really comes down to your personal preference. Using the daycare example we discussed earlier, we said your gap analysis showed your current annual revenue at $100,000, and you set your financial goal at $220,000 in total revenue within the next 11 months of operation. You may notice here that there are many additional listings available for you to record additional financial information. Don't complicate this. I recommend completing only those areas that are critical to the generation of your desired revenue. In fact, we personally feel that the only 2 entries that are truly significant in the gap analysis are revenue and profit. I like to know how much money I'm making, which is revenue, and how much of that money I'm keeping, which is profit. The others serve to support those 2 primary entries. So complete just those entries that you feel will support your business fully. Okay, so let's say that when you meet your stated revenue goal, the additional income will let you finally begin to grow your business and hire additional staff. Now that you have defined your gap, you can start planning a specific way to close it. First, you would list all the possible sources of revenue you can generate as a daycare owner. Let's say you start with the acquisition of new clients for your daycare. Your current annual revenue equals $100,000. That's because you currently charge $10,000 per year per child, and you currently care for 10 children. That price includes full-time care 5 days each week and includes all the kids' meals and supplies. Since all of the parents live paycheck to paycheck, you have graciously agreed to allow them to pay their monthly fee, which is $833. In order to accomplish the revenue goals set in the gap analysis, you need to add additional children to your daycare over the next 11 months. So you set what you consider to be a realistic goal for adding 2 new children every month. When we develop a revenue plan, we like to break my plan down into the various strategies and tactics we plan to use for generating new sales. Since your daycare wants to add 2 additional kids every month over the remaining 11 months, let's assume you plan to accomplish that through the use of a direct mail program and a referral program. You also believe each of these tactics is capable of generating 1 new sale per month. However, when you calculate the additional revenue those sales will produce, you discover your total annual income will be around $201,000, which is $19,000 short of your goal listed in the gap analysis of $220,000. Okay, so now you know you're short of your revenue goal. Now you have to make some decisions. How can you generate that additional $19,000 in revenue over 11 months? Always go back to your basics. There are only 3 ways to increase revenue for your business. You can make more sales, you can make more profit, or you can add more clients. That's it. Well, you already know that realistically, you're attracting all the clients you can using your marketing program. You could always increase your marketing budget to increase sales, but then you would have to be confident you would increase your sales to cover the additional cost. Besides of those 3 ways to increase revenue, attracting more clients is absolutely the most expensive of the 3. So that one's out. The second one mentioned, make more profit, means increasing the price you charge. Unfortunately, your parents are having a hard enough time financially just making ends meet. A price increase right now may cost you more business than the increase would bring in. So that one is out as well. But that third area mentioned may hold promise, making more sales. What if you added additional services, such as a private access to an online video system that allows parents to watch their children from home or work through a password-protected website, private tutoring, and a beginner computer training? Let's assume these are services that your daycare recently added as innovations. You adopted them after analyzing your target customers' thought process and discovering that these are services parents really want from a daycare center and are willing to pay additional fees to get. You would record these additional services on the backside of your gap analysis form under non-financials. You would add your 3 innovative services in columns 2 and 3 detailing where you want to be by the end of December. And you would also record the fact that you want to go from 0 staff to 2 staff members by the end of the year as well. You can then add these to your revenue plan with all of your products and services clearly identified by name, number of units to sell, price, and dates. You now have the roadmap in place to guide your lead generation efforts. Finally, next to each of these additional services, you could list the prices you feel you can charge to generate the production of these numbers. We strongly recommend using conservative numbers whenever you develop your revenue plan. Something else we recommend you always take into account when you create a revenue plan is attrition. Most businesses can expect a certain percentage of clients to leave you during the year. This isn't necessarily a reflection of you or your business. It's usually related to the factors such as they relocate from the area or their situation changes for whatever reason and they may no longer need what you sell. For example, if we were creating a revenue plan for the daycare, we would build into it a 1% monthly attrition rate, which is 12% annually. For clients who receive a job transfer, simple move out of the area, or the child reaches school age and they no longer need a daycare. In daycare, that's actually a fairly high attrition rate since most parents never leave a daycare. They know they can trust. But again, we always use very conservative numbers when we create a revenue plan. We also prefer to use percentages in place of estimated numbers when making assumptions as to how many prospects will buy additional products or services. For example, with the daycare, we want to offer our WebWatch surveillance system to the parents of our daycare kids so they can look in on them from either work or home. Since we conservatively believe that 2 out of our current 10 parents will want the service, most business owners would write in 2 clients in each month all the way across the revenue plan. But what happens toward the end of the year when we go from having 10 clients like we do in January versus 30 clients we project to have by December? Can you see how a number doesn't keep up with the addition of new clients? And who has time to do all of this manually? We like to create our revenue plans in an Excel spreadsheet. And for our additional services like WebWatch, we conservatively estimate the percentage of parents that will want to buy the additional service. In the case of this daycare, the percentage would be 20%. Now, as we add clients each and every month, our revenue plan is updating itself monthly as well. By December, our spreadsheet will reflect that we have 6 parents purchasing WebWatch, not just 2. This method also allows us to play the if this, then what game. Remember, we've conservatively estimated that only 20% of our prospects want WebWatch. What if 30% want it, or 70%? All we have to do with an Excel spreadsheet is change the estimated percentages, and our totals throughout the entire spreadsheet automatically update. For the purpose of this example, let's assume we stick with our very conservative WebWatch percentage of 20%. We also estimate that 15% will elect the private tutoring, and 10% will purchase the computer training. Using these assumptions based on percentages, your spreadsheet will start populating each service with the appropriate numbers based on the total number of clients you have at any given time. This process provides you with a month-to-month snapshot of the conservatively realistic expectations of potential sales that may be generated by your new offerings. As you begin to sell these new services, you now have the metrics you need to track your income on a monthly basis and make adjustments as necessary to ensure you remain on track to achieve your $220,000 year-end revenue goal. In this example, the numbers we assign to all of the various components will give you a total combined revenue by the end of the year of $221,623. This meets your standard revenue goal of $220,000 over the 11-month period that you set in your gap analysis. The great thing about using an Excel spreadsheet is the ability to manipulate the numbers. For example, you may find that 75% of your clients decide they want the online surveillance option instead of the 20% you forecasted. Just that one change would add approximately $20,000 to your total revenue. A spreadsheet allows you to change numbers and quickly recalculate to see if you're still on target. You may discover your attrition rate jumps from 1% to 3% by simply changing your spreadsheet entry in the attrition category. All the other numbers automatically recalculate in the spreadsheet and provide an instant snapshot of where you are and where you're now headed. This allows you to make adjustments in your lead generation and marketing efforts on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, depending on the frequency you decide to use when you set up your spreadsheet. This same process would apply to your non-financial goals as well. As you can see, a revenue plan is simple yet highly effective way to set into motion a plan of action based on your original gap analysis. Let's look at another example. It's January and you're the proud owner of an established 5-year-old landscape company. And up to this point, you've pretty much been winging everything. Your business has done okay so far, but 2 years ago, you got stuck. You hit a plateau in your business when your revenue reached $500,000 per year, and you've been stuck there ever since. Your overall goal has always been to build a $1 million business, so you decide it's time to do the right things in the right order to get your business back on track. And that means you need to develop a revenue plan. That also means you need to begin by creating a gap analysis. You take out your gap analysis worksheet, and in the Where You Are Now column, you write down January, followed by your current revenue of $500,000. You then flip the form over and list the non-financials that are producing that $500,000 in revenue. Your income is presently generated from 53 current clients in the 3 major areas of service your business provides: lawn care, garden care, and landscape design. This details where you are today. You have decided that your passion has shifted slightly from when you first got started with your business. Although you still enjoy the 3 areas you listed and plan to continue growing that segment of your business, you want to move aggressively from residential services and get into the commercial side of the business. You have estimated that for your business to reach $1 million in revenue, you need to increase your total number of clients by the end of the year to 138. That includes the clients you presently have in your 3 primary areas, but also expands into 2 commercial areas: commercial lawn maintenance and custom design work. So your gap consists of adding 85 additional clients over these 5 areas of business by the end of the year, and adding the 2 additional commercial areas as well. You flip your worksheet back over and record your new revenue goal of $1 million in the center column, and your gap of $500,000 in column 3 to define the gap between where you are now versus where you want to be. Naturally, you could expand on this form here if you feel any of the remaining entries would play a critical role in the creation of this additional revenue. But for the purpose of this example, these numbers will be sufficient. So let's take a look at the revenue plan for your landscape business and check out the roadmap that will get your business from $500,000 to $1 million in 11 months. Notice that the top half of the revenue plan is devoted to the current services you offer, such as the lawn care clients, the garden care clients, and the landscape design clients. The bottom half is devoted to the new commercial services you will begin to offer, including the monthly maintenance clients and the custom design clients. Examine the January column where we see a breakdown of your current revenue. You currently have 30 lawn care clients paying you $15,000 per month, 20 garden care clients paying you $16,000 each month, and 3 monthly landscape design clients bringing in $10,800 per month, for total residential services monthly income of $41,800. If you remain at this present level, that would total $500,000 for the entire year. which was the figure you recorded in the left column of your gap analysis. Please note that your revenue numbers are based on an estimated average per job fee that you have listed in an assumption table located at the bottom of your spreadsheet. When the Excel spreadsheet is formatted with the proper formulas, the estimated amounts in the assumption table are automatically calculated based on the number of sales you enter under each section. Again, this makes it easy for you to play an if this, then what game to calculate the potential combinations of products and or services that will allow you to reach your revenue goals. Now, even though you have decided to expand your business into commercial services area, you still plan to grow 2 of the 3 residential areas of the business, the lawn care and the garden care segments. You will continue to maintain the addition of 3 landscape design clients each month, since landscape design is a one-time service. However, you won't be focusing on expanding the number of jobs you perform every month in this one area of your business. You plan to begin your new marketing program on January 2nd by offering a winter sign-up special. After playing the if this, then what scenario with the various services you now offer and taking into account your marketing budget and past success rate with your marketing, you have created a revenue plan that you feel reflects very conservative, yet easily obtainable monthly numbers. For example, you have projected no new additions in January for lawn care clients since you plan to focus your entire first month's marketing budget on the commercial additions for your business. But beginning in February, you plan to add 2 additional clients each month through the rest of the year, with the expectation being the months of November and December, which you know from past experience are notoriously slow. You have projected adding just 1 client in each of those months. This schedule will grow your lawn care segment from 30 clients to 50 clients by year's end. Based on the $500 monthly fee you have listed in the assumption table at the bottom of the spreadsheet, this segment of your business will produce total annual revenue of $244,500. So far, so good. Next, you plan the same basic plan of action for your garden care segment. You won't be adding any additional clients in January, and you project adding just 1 new client per month through the end of the year. In December, you plan to have a total of 31 clients, and you will have generated a total revenue accumulation of $244,800. This figure is based on your average $800 monthly fee per client listed in the assumption table. Finally, you plan to leave your landscape design segment as is and continue to perform 3 landscape design jobs per month. By the end of the year, you project completing a total of 36 landscape projects totaling an additional $129,000 in revenue. So, by the end of December, your residential business is conservatively projected to produce total annual revenue of $618,900, but you're still $381,100 short of your $1 million revenue goal listed in your gap analysis. You have planned for your commercial accounts to make up the difference, and here are your projected sales that will enable you to reach your goal. You plan to offer a monthly maintenance service for commercial clients as well as provide custom design work. Since it's January, you know it will be a struggle to attract new clients before spring, and you have factored in the seasonality of your business to project a modest ramp up. For the monthly maintenance service, you plan to add just 1 client in January, 2 in February, 3 in March, 4 in April, and then 5 per month beginning in May, and continuing for the remainder of the year. Considering that many of these newer clients will come from referrals, you believe these numbers are extremely conservative. By the end of your first year, you project to have 50 monthly maintenance clients paying an average of $4,500 per month based on your assumption table, totaling first-year revenue of $225,000. You plan a similar conservative ramp-up for the custom design segment of your business. You plan to add just 1 client in both January and February, 2 clients in March and April, 3 clients in May through August, and 4 in September through December. You estimate the average client account will be worth $7,600 per month based on your assumption table, producing total first-year annual revenue of $258,400. So if added up your new commercial account segment of your business, you discover first-year revenue of $483,400. Now let's add up the total revenue generated and see if we've reached our $1 million goal. You had previously estimated total annual revenue for your residential segment at $618,900, and you've added $225,000 in commercial maintenance and $258,400 in custom design accounts, giving you a grand total of $1,102,300. You are well over your stated revenue goal of $1 million. Since, in this example, the landscape owner based their numbers on what they felt were highly conservative numbers, coupled with the fact that they have been in business for 5 years and had a proven past track record in generating leads and closing business, they could leave these revenue projections as they are and enjoy additional windfall they have projected. If these numbers had been aggressive estimates with no prior history to back them up, it would be prudent to go back and lower some of the more questionable estimates to reflect the original $1 million goal. But this simply highlights the major benefits of creating a revenue plan. It affords you the luxury of making these types of decisions ahead of the game and allows you to carefully evaluate these numbers so you can then develop a marketing plan and schedule to ensure you produce the required totals every month. If you fall short one month, you have an instant snapshot to compare your monthly totals to, and you can quickly make adjustments the following month to get your business back on target. As you can see, creating a gap analysis and a revenue plan are critical tools that can help ensure the success of your business. One of the biggest mistakes small business owners make is they frequently rush ahead when starting their business and fail to take a moment to put specific numbers into place that will give them a roadmap with which to effectively navigate. I'm sure by the examples we've covered, it is now apparent why I refer to your revenue plan as your roadmap to wealth. It literally provides you with the roadmap to take your business from wherever it is right now to wherever you want it to be in the future. Once you create your roadmap, all that's left is to create the marketing program that will produce the proper number of leads so that a specific percentage of those leads convert into paying clients. So let's quickly recap the major points when it comes to creating a revenue plan for your business. Your revenue plan consists of only 4 elements: the products and or services you sell, the prices you sell them for, the quantity of each you plan to sell, and the time frame you expect to sell them within. That total should equal or exceed the revenue projection in your gap analysis. You receive a multitude of benefits by creating a revenue plan. It identifies what and where your business will generate its income from. It projects the income you want to achieve and the components that make it possible for you to do so. It provides a financial roadmap that guides you from where you are to where you want to be, and it documents your sources of income over a set period, allowing you to track your revenue weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually. Just be sure that when you create your revenue plan, you make sure your total revenues equals or exceeds the revenue projection in your gap analysis. If you discover that it doesn't, then do one of 3 things. Adjust the number of products and or services you offer, adjust your pricing, or adjust the quantity of each that you plan to sell. Doing so creates your roadmap to wealth. As you can see, our overall focus is to help you continue to build the business you've always dreamed of having, a business that provides you with financial freedom and an extraordinary life for you and your family. Remember that a primary goal in the e-learning marketing system is to help you quickly develop the process that will bring you more revenue into your business. Each presentation brings us closer to accomplishing that goal. So until next time, here's to your success.